from? For most people, that question is just a basic conversation starter. But in me, it could trigger a mini panic attack. I usually look at them for a moment, not knowing what they want me to answer. It feels like an out-of-body experience, where I watch myself stumble over the answer, getting nervous and looking for my words. Do they mean where my parents are from, or where I was born, where I've lived, the country of my passport? Do they want the long or short answer? Because I don't want them to think I'm boasting. Why do I feel this way? Well, my dad was born and raised in France and Congo. My mom was born in Mali and grew up in Senegal, Djibouti, France, and Switzerland. And I was born and raised in France, South Africa, Togo, and I'm here in the US. In short, I've been exposed to a great number and variety of cultures beyond my parents. And therefore, there is not just one place where I can say I'm from. There are lots of other kids like me, and we want to belong. But the only way is if we're welcomed, respected, and embraced. Only then can we feel at home and thrive, unlocking our full potential. Kids like me are sometimes referred to as third culture kids, or TCKs. The term third culture kid is used to describe people who have spent a significant part of their first 18 years in another culture because their parents worked overseas. This description was coined by sociologist Ruth Hill Unsim when she studied American families living in India in the 1950s. Their childhood experience was neither that of a typical Indian child nor of an American child, but somewhere in between, in the third culture. There are lots of third culture kids, famous third culture kids, like Barack Obama. Yes, the 44th president of the United States was a TCK. TCKs may struggle with their identity. What is my nationality and sense of belonging? Which country do I feel I belong to? Moreover, the concept of home does not mean the same thing as those in a single culture. Home is not a defined place, and deciding where to call home can feel stressful. I have felt that struggle of choosing which country I'll represent. And let me tell you, the struggle is real. When my school had International Day, kids had to dress in clothes from their culture. I thought to myself, well, mom and dad are from different places, so maybe I wear a laputa from Congo or a kaftan from Mali. But what if wearing one is offensive to the other? So I guess I'll just do France and wear a beret. But wait, I do that way too often. It feels like I'm ignoring my other cultures. Ugh. So you can see, simply asking, where are you from, does not tell you anything about me. TCK expert Dr. Monica DeWall asserts that moving from one country to another is not always easy for a TCK. It is a delicate period during which their feelings are shaken and identity questioned. Likewise, saying goodbye to places, friends, homes, and pets is never easy because it means going through chronic cycles of losses and separations. Writer Jezebel May explained that unresolved grief usually comes with losses that have not been mourned in a healing way. These losses can be hidden because TCKs quickly adapt to new environments, focusing on the excitement of new experiences rather than dwelling on what they've left behind. As discussed by author Tina Quick, a TCK herself, every time you move to a new country, you also have to restart, make new friends, see how the school works. You have stress every day about questions like, whether people at school are gonna like me. Am I going to like them? What is their sense of humor? Will I have an accent here? All this matters because we find ourselves in a completely different environment and don't want it to be made fun of because we aren't used to this place yet. Third culture kids have grown up in different countries and cultures, and by acknowledging and accepting their differences, society must create an environment where they can feel accepted, supported, and empowered to shine brightly. Therefore, schools must respect and embrace the complex nature of TCK's identities to unlock their full potential. According to the U.S. Department of State, it is crucial to find resources to help ease the transition process. If each move to a different place is done correctly and the children get help when needed, when TCKs become adults, they often come to peace with their identity and belonging issues. Cultural psychologist Miranda Pogstein found that growing up, TCKs generally develop a deep understanding of different cultures, open-mindedness, and tolerance and fluency in several languages. Brains magazine contributor Judith Vey says that helping TCKs to thrive will also allow them to contribute to our interconnected world as true global citizens. From this perspective, administrators, counselors, and teachers can take several steps to support third culture kids. First, showing interest in avoiding stereotyping are the keys to success of a relationship with TCKs. Asking, where are all the places that TCK lived before? What are some things they miss about their old school and home? Are they adapting to their new environment? Just by asking these questions and listening, you're supporting them as they feel better understood, cared for, and safe. For example, when I arrived at the beginning of this new school year, these simple questions from my counselor, Mayane, how are you feeling? Are you making friends? Made me feel like she cared. She often reaches out to make sure I'm all right, and I know I can talk to her whenever it is necessary. Second, in terms of school programs, new student orientation and visiting days are great ideas that helped reassure me. A smooth transition also includes language support if needed and creating support networks or student groups to help TCKs connect with other students. Making friends can help TCKs feel a greater sense of belonging and acceptance, which fosters self-confidence and self-esteem. Another factor that can play a significant role in supporting TCKs is their relationship with peers. Here are a few tips students can apply to help their TCK friends. Don't assume. Assuming things about TCKs' lives because of where they lived can hurt their feelings and make them feel confused. In her book, Third Culture Kids, Growing Up Among Worlds, Ruth Van Recken said that if we only stick to our old definitions and assumptions about diversity and culture, we risk putting people in the wrong slots and ending up with even more alienation and stereotypes than before. Be a supportive friend by offering help and encouragement during times of adjustment. Whether it's offering to show them around a new school, simply being there to lend a listening ear, or including them in social activities. Be supportive and patient if they face challenges. Peers can celebrate cultural diversity by participating in multicultural events, sharing traditions, and learning from each other's backgrounds. All this will make TCKs feel valued, accepted, and included in their social circles. I would like my peers to know that even though they may have had different experiences growing up than TCKs, they'll still find common ground with similar values and interests. For example, it's super easy to find someone with the same music taste as you, or perhaps you share a common favorite singer. And there are things you can learn from people and friends who have traveled abroad. Now that you know more about the unique experiences and challenges of third culture kids, I invite you to think about how tricky it can be to answer questions like, where are you from? I'd rather you ask me, where have you lived? For me and other kids like me who have lived in lots of places, our answer isn't just one place. It's a big puzzle made up of all the places we live, the languages we speak, and the things we've experienced. So next time you meet a kid like me, remember that our story is unique and special, even if it's not easy to explain in just one word. The complex identities of TCKs are not a challenge to be met, but a gift to be embraced. TCKs serve as bridges between cultures, fostering understanding and cooperation across borders. By respecting and celebrating their multicultural backgrounds, you can help unleash their full potential and build a more inclusive, interconnected, and harmonious global community. And who knows, like Obama, we could even become the next president. Thank you for listening.